So firstly, I would like to pay respect and homage to all the venerable. I'm really happy to be here and in order to present the teachers of the Buddha and mentor our venerable. This one I'm really happy. So I pay homage to all of you venerable and good morning everyone.
Now, I pay homage to all venerables present in the audience. Then it said, it's started in the morning, isn't it? I'm full of a little bit of nervous now and a little bit of excitement. It's a mistake. And so in ancient India, women had no standing or no social status in society. In ancient Rome, women were not allowed to vote or hold political office. Most surprisingly, in ancient China, women were taught to obey her father in childhood, and her husband in marriage, and her son in widowhood. And the status of women depended on their husbands or their sons. And the questions we have about those things is, why didn't men's status depend on women? Is this all because of gender? Is this all because of differences in strength between women and men? In case you don't know me, I am Candimā, a third-year student at PIU, International Buddhist College. And so the subordination of women is primarily linked to gender discrimination. So what is gender discrimination? Gender discrimination is defined by Lausanne University. An unequal or discriminatory treatment of individuals or a group of individuals simply based on sex. So there are so many Asian-based gender discrimination that are taking place in our societies. For example, a faculty only hiring male graduate assistant. And here I want to share what I experienced last week. Last week I was on phone with my friend. And she's working in Āloka. I asked about her salary. Are you fairly paid? And she said, yeah, more than fair. How much? About $14 per month. And I was really shocked. I said, wow, it's 5 months salary of my other brother. You can help me get a job for my little brother. Right now he's between job. She said, no, I can't. It's only for girls. I was like, does your job have something to do with gender? No, it doesn't, but it requires you to be a female. And I said, oh, it's pure gender discrimination. And then here, I want to talk a little about sexism. Actually, sexism is subsumed under gender discrimination, which means gender discrimination covers all aspects of sexism. So I'm not going deep into the histories of gender discrimination, but I want to talk about how it emerged. So gender sexism emerged on the second wave of feminism of the 1960s. And it means one sex is superior to or more valuable than another sex. Of course, as a result, it imposed so many limitations, so many limits on what men and boys can and should do, what women and girls can and should do. Okay, I acknowledge the fact that we do have gender discrimination in our society. What do we have to do with it? What does it have to do with that? And most importantly, the questions we need to ask about this is it good or bad for our society? Or for our future generation? Of course, I don't think I will have my future generation as of now, as I'm Mark. And our research shows that in terms of the labor participation, is incredibly horrible. The labor participation rate is 83% for men and only 55% for women. This is only happening at the labor participation? Of course, no. In education, girls are encouraged to choose subjects like art, literature, simply because they are gender. And when we look at the primary textbook, we clearly see why it's happening in our society. The depictions of women in the textbook is followed by words like eat, dance, or cook. How about man's depiction in the textbook? No, their depictions are amazingly polished, amazingly decorated. Words like doctors, soldiers, and engineers are beside their illustrations. That gives the basis for the Sharon's view of the world. That's why it's a system. So when we get to the root of this problem, to know exactly where and how it all started. So, this is rooted in patriarchy, the dominations of man over woman in society. So, as the ideology of patriarchy has been so influential that it's followed throughout the world, but under different names, especially religion. Now, actually, I don't have any prejudice against any religions, and I have really little knowledge about what I'm going to mention about this religion. That's it. In Islam, of course we know, Sharia law, it imposes so many restrictions on women's rights, on women's access to education, to healthcare. How about Eastern Iliad, let alone caste system? We know exactly how it treated a woman so poorly. What I'm talking about right now is Satiprabha, a practice that required women to jump right into her husband's funeral and die together with her lifeless, rotten, decaying dead body. It's simply because of the belief of the time. Your husband dies, you are not safe anymore. You got nobody to look after you. Go and dine with your husband, accompany him to the afterlife. From our point of view, it makes no sense. Okay, most importantly, the question that rushes into my mind is Buddhism included on the list of religions that discriminates against women? Of course, several sources exist in some teachings, in the Buddhist teachings. Just look at what struggles the stepmother of Buddha faced. After her husband's death, he was devastated. He was grief-stricken, and he couldn't find a way out of those grief caused by her husband's death. And he was like, I have no meaning in life. And he went to the Buddha and asked him, Lord Buddha, can I join your sadhana and follow the path you guide others to follow, and the path you did on your own? The Buddha said, no, you can't. And the text says the Buddha rejected her proposals of anti-Vithanga order 3 times. And only on the request of his brothers, Ananda, he admitted her as an aunt, but surprisingly imposed 8 rules, also known as good demands. So what it gives us is it based on international discrimination? Why did Buddha impose those 8 weighty restrictions on women? Why not on men? How about another story? It goes like this. A man was walking on the street or on the field, and he saw a monk looking so handsome, so gorgeous, with shiny skin. He was really amazed. And as the text suggests, impure thought arose in his body that, wow, it's gonna be amazing if I can have him as my wife, or otherwise, my wife has such skin. That impure thought caused him to turn into a woman on the spot. How surprising is it? Just imagine, you just turned into a woman. I mean, in a matter of second, wow, I got a woman body. I got a chance to understand and explore the nature of both female and male in one life. How surprising is it? Actually, this is what I think. That's not what Soria felt. He regretted crying his eye out, and I reckon he didn't. If he did, that would be so embarrassing. Crying like a kid, even though he was a grown-up. And he regretted his impure thought and offered a meal to that man as a sign of apology. Surprisingly, he got back to normal. He was a male again. Finally, he attained Āloka. That's it, what the text suggests. Okay, so is the story saying that bad karma causes when be born as a woman? How about the belief that it still existed today in time Buddhism? That women are born from bad karma. They carry a heavy load of negative karma just because of the fact they are female. How about Sri-Lanka? Actually, I have never been known out of Myanmar. That's it, what I read on a website that said, women in Sri-Lanka, they pray to be redeemed from womanhood and reborn as a man after each time they finish doing a meritorious deed. So based on those stories, is Buddhism somehow favoring gender discrimination? To be more precise, is Buddhism a sexist religion? For the answers, my co-presenter Āloka will continue, and thank you.
Good morning, everyone, again. So here, I'm here to explore together to answer that question as to gender discrimination in Buddhism. So firstly, what I would like to mention here is M. Sonyadawara there mentioned na in your gosi sasowa pawa posowa ogolowa hundi tatra rasasena kandawa hundi, which means everything according to the Paramattha Sutta point of view. A sentient being is justified aggregates. There is no more male or female or gay or something other sex. So what is a sentient being? A sentient being is just the 5 aggregates, Rubekana, Vajnakana, etc. And brief, just the Nama and Rupa. So this is a view that we should see each other. But now, according to we are lower capacity or understanding the holy Dhamma. So what do we see each other as? Oh, he is handsome, he is beautiful, and he is scared, he is blind, something like that. But according to Paramattha Sutta, what do we should say to each other is sentient being is just the 5 aggregates. This one, which means there, according to Paramattha Sutta, there is no boy, girl, or something other sex. So, okay, please keep this idea in mind because we are going to connect with another slides. So let's talk about the reason, the cause of sexes. So why do we become blind? Why do we become girl? And also gay, something other like LGBT sex. So what are those reasons? It is because of your past action. So 8 year, 8 India was in a Buddhisata, Buddhisandriya Vadena, Bhavadasakandi, which is described as a Kamazarubani, which means now you are having the body is like just like a difference of male, female, and also other sex are just the consequences of your past action. Your past action created that body. So which means your body, now you are having the body is just the consequences of your past action. It means you can create what you want. Would you like to be a girl? Would you like to be a boy? You can be anyone what you want, but you have to do to be that. You have to fulfill the reasons, enough reason to be what you want. This is how karma creates us. So another thing that I want to mention here is sex is not an obstacle to attain the Nibbana. Then there was a very beautiful story. It is Dhammadena and Visakha. When one day Visakha went to the monastery and listened to the teachings of the Buddha. After that, he was attained and he got holy Dhamma. He understood the Paramattha Sutta and he became Arya. Then after he came back to home, he is not like anybody. You know that. He is Arya. Then he did not behave like before. He did not care his wife like before. Didn't show the sign of love like before. Then the lady, Dhammadena, asked to Vidaka, oh, what is the problem between us? Tell me about that. What is the reason you are behaving like that? Then Vissaka said, he understood the greatest Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha. That's why he is behaving like that. So after discussing all about those things, Vissaka or Dhammadena asked to Vissaka, how about ladies? These greatest Dhammas are only allowed to know ladies or to know boys. How about ladies? The female can understand those holy Dhamma or not. Then Vissaka said, oh, how could you say that? That's not like that. Buddha Dhammas are for everyone. Buddha Dhammas are for every sentient being who is suffering in the psyche or samsara. That's why, if you do it, you are going to have it. It just depends on your actions. It's not depends on your gender. It's not depends on your sex. It's not depends on your how you are poor, how you are rich. It just depends on your action, and you are going to receive those consequences from your action. That's why, what I want to say here is, gender is not an obstacle to attaining Nibbana or to understand the higher Dhamma of the Buddha. But somehow, there are some more than words we need to discuss here. It is Ekuru Dhammas. Ekuru Dhamma is Buddha regulated for bhikkhuni, for nuns, female bhikkhu, female sangha. So there is 8 kinds of Guru Dhammas. The first one is how old the bhikkhuni is. Maybe he have left as a bhikkhuni for about hundreds of years, but he need to pay respect to the newly monk, which is ordained only on that day. And also another things which are seen to, like Buddha put bhikkhu sangha in a higher position than the bhikkhuni. That's why there are some like argument about this thing. But what I want to say here is, if we study the teachings of the Buddha, in Abhidhamma, it is only talking about the Paramata, the Sattva, and which is the truth of the universe. But in Vinaya, Buddha regulate those rules in order to be okay in social engagement, and also in order to be okay with everyone. It is Patimokha Samvaratita which protect all the Sangha, Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni. That's why Buddha need to consider the importance of local culture. At the time, you all know that India was very influenced by the caste system. And also, according to India point of view, boys are better than girls, yes, something like that. This is their view. So, when the Buddha regulate new rules to protect the monks, he needs to consider the importance of local culture. That's why these are some facts as a result of those considering. And no female Buddha. It is really famous question. There is no female Buddha. Why? A girl can be a Buddha or not? No, cannot be. Why? Because it's just the criteria or to be a Buddha. It's just like if you would like to apply to medical university, you need to fulfill the criteria which you need to do before you apply to medical university. Yes, something like that. And also, if you want to be a Buddha, first you need to be a boy. But don't forget that. Don't think yourself, oh, I'm a boy, you are gay, don't think like that. I have already explained in my first slide. We are just sentient beings, which means only 5 aggregates. These forms or male or female genders are just the consequences of what we did in the past life. So what do we have to see each other? We are just sentient beings. Every guy can be a Buddha, if you try, if you try. First, you need to fulfill the criteria to be a boy, and also to be a real human, and something other more 6 criteria. After fulfilling those things, you can wish to be a Buddha. So the last one is the teaching methods of the Buddha. When the Buddha teaches to his audience, he always tries to understand every characteristic of the sentient beings, and just look at that. How can I show them the way? Because according to, we say, the characteristic of sentient beings, we are not the same to each other. That's why, according to differences of body formation, according to differences of my attitude, there are different ways to support to those sentient beings. Even you will see that the rules in gay dormitory and the rules in boy dormitory are not the same. Because according to their body formations and according to their attitudes, we need to make some differences too. It's not gender discrimination. It is just the adaptation of the necessary of the body and society. So, as the last message, what I want to give you all is, what do we have to see each other is only the five aggregates, only the nama and rupa. This is the right view. And also, the body form that you are having now, boys or gay are just the consequence of your apart action. It means you can be anyone what you want, but you need to fulfill the criteria. This is the main important things. So if you want to be a Buddha, you can be, but you have to try. There is no gender discrimination in Buddhism. So that's all for me. Thank you very much.